We have completely lost the plot. Somehow we've been conditioned to believe that it's normal to spend the rest of our lives working a 9 to 5 in a job that absolutely drains us.
Getting laid off in the United States is almost like your job telling you to just go die. Because it's not about a little minor setback in your career path. It's not about just this loss of income that's just happened. You lose access to disability insurance, your medications, your health care.
Do you guys think that benefits hold people back from quitting their job?
Want to see how people truly feel about you? Become unemployed for like 1 or 2 weeks. Let some life shit happen to you, or you lose a job. You'll see how your family truly feels about you. Watch how differently they treat you when you don't have a job, when you don't have something to offer. It's so fucking crazy. It's so crazy. Your friends, including that too. They'll switch up on you just like that, all over a job. Isn't it crazy how society has tied people's identities to their workplace?
I mean, it is crazy, and I wish it wasn't that way, but I'm a believer in the Most High. I do read the Bible almost every single day. I try to do my best. But even the Bible talks about those who are poor. They barely have friends. That's not word for word, so don't quote me on that. But it is somewhere in Proverbs, all right? And those that are wealthy, those that have a lot of money, they got plenty of friends, right? So, yeah, be mindful of that. I mean, people are going to treat you differently. And it's not, I don't believe it's just as much, I don't believe it's about the money. I believe it's about who they believe you are, right? If you're acting broke, you're acting poor, nobody wants to be around you because they know they're going to always have to give, and probably not get anything in return. Now, is that right in every instance? No. But would you want to be around broke people? Would you want to be around people who don't provide for themselves? Would you want to be around people who, don't produce, just consume? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm good. Personally, I'm good. Don't put me around broke people. Broke and poor are two different things. Broke is a mindset. Poor people, they just ain't got no money. Broke people, they got money and they don't know how to use it. They got this broke mindset, It's only one way and that's it to make money. Like, I'm good on that.
Hi, I am a family physician. I just quit my job. I got to the point where I was Googling flight attendant jobs in the middle of the night.
Dang.
Because I just felt like I needed a way out. And it wasn't because I don't love medicine. I love medicine so much. I love my patients even more. I went into primary care because I really love my patients. I like sitting with them. I like hearing what's going on. I really take it to heart that I'm someone they can trust. To me, it's a very sacred relationship, and that has never gone away. But what's gone away is my ability to actually practice medicine. I feel like at one point I was seeing 30 patients a day, spending more time documenting for insurance and actually talking to my patients. I felt like every prescription, every lab, every referral was questioned and filtered through an insurance company to see whether or not they would agree with my expertise. A lot of this now is just AI driven, which is so infuriating. And the thing is when you take money from an insurance company, they kind of own you a little bit, in my mind. They are able to set the terms. Medicare reimbursement has dropped 33% over the past 20 years once you adjust for inflation. And they can just decide to drop your contract at any time. Then you're stuck having to rebuild a practice around whatever insurance decides for you. So I quit that model of medicine, and it's not because I hate medicine, it's because I actually want to practice it. So I am opening my own practice, direct primary care. It's called Kindred Family Medicine.
You know what's crazy to me? I thought she was going to complain about changing her job industry because of how her job industry is. But she's more so going into like how it actually works, being able to give people medications and diagnose them with certain solutions, temporary solutions. We know Western medicine is weak in the first place, but she has to jump all through these loopholes in order for the insurance to approve and to give money and whatever. Like, it goes to show that the medical industry in the United States, and I get it, it's medical, it's drugs, but they're just some drug dealers, bro. Like, at the end of the day, like, they're these corporations, these insurance companies, bro, like, if they get the last shot, bro, they're literally kingpins. Legal kingpins. That's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm glad she's took a stand. But at the end of the day, that's the world we live in, especially in the healthcare system. It's sad. It really is.
We have completely lost the plot. Somehow we've been conditioned to believe that it's normal to spend the rest of our lives working a 9 to 5 in a job that absolutely drains us. But it's unrealistic to imagine a life that actually feels fulfilling. Like spending a day hiking and creating and sitting under a tree somehow feels irresponsible. Like, who decided that? When did we create a system where surviving became more acceptable than actually living our lives? Like, I'm not saying everyone needs to quit their job tomorrow, but I'm asking, like, when did we accept a version of life that leaves so many people disconnected from themselves? Like, what if success isn't just about making it to a Friday? What if it was about waking up excited about how to spend your days? What about like having work that feels really meaningful, having enough space to hear your actual thoughts, having enough time to watch a sunset without feeling guilty for it? Like, maybe the dream isn't escaping life. Maybe the dream is creating a life that you don't need an escape from.
I like this. I like where she's going with it. At first, I'm like, okay, you sound like quite lazy, but I wrote down this bullet just to keep in mind what she was like ultimately shooting around or beating around the bush with. I believe personally that people just don't have purposes at their jobs besides to make money. I believe a lot of people get jobs and careers so they can make money, so they can pay bills, and so they can have high credit scores, have the car, have the house, that they want, right? The American dream, right? And when you feel like you need an escape from something, that means that you are literally in bondage. And I've heard this quote before: a paycheck destroys creativity. It really does. It makes people comfortable. Every 2 weeks, you get hit, you get that dopamine hit, right? And I get it. We need to get paid. We need to make money. We need to work in order for us to provide for our families, in order for us to buy goods and services in this country. At the same time, I ask, at what cost? Like, if we're just working just to pay bills and to save money, we're missing the whole point here. And this is exactly why people quit jobs and then get into a new job, and then they are in that job for a year, and then they figure out, well, this isn't for me either. It doesn't fulfill me, right? We need to start doing things that fulfill us. A lot of the times, no, that doesn't mean you need to start a business, but that does mean you need to also have the money that you're making, do something that feels purposeful so you can get you out of that situation. I appreciate you too, man. Much respect. The name, I'm still working on the chat right here, so we can see names. I got to change the font of the chat, but Financial Frontier USA. Shout out to you. Thank you. Much respect to you as well, man. Okay. So a lot of the times, a lot of people, they don't have purpose when it comes down to jobs, man. And I know this because when I was in college, like when I graduated high school in 2016, I went into college. I just said I wanted to get into computer science because my family and friends were talking all about computer science. That's where the money at. That's where the money is at. That's where the money is at. And of course that's exciting, but once I like went to college for like my third year, by the way, I dropped out. I really didn't get my computer science degree. I work in IT though, so let me not like shit on college. Like, college is a great option for those who are going for purposeful degrees. But, you know, I grew a level of consciousness within me going to college, and I recognized that I love computers, but that's not what my life purpose is. It doesn't really bring fulfillment. It brings fascination because I love the idea of technology, but at the same time, am I doing this just for the money? And this is exactly why I have stuff I work on outside of work, outside of IT, even though I love IT, that makes me feel purposeful, even if I'm not getting paid. Even if I'm not getting paid. Business owners know this. Entrepreneurs know this. People who invest into themselves know this. A lot of times we don't get paid up front for the work that we put in. And that's a sacrifice. But it also lets us feel like we're working on something that's bigger than the program of working the 9 to 5. Let me know what you think in the comment section and in the chat as well. Let's continue.
I feel like such a brat when I say this, but I hate working. I hate getting ready to go to work. I hate going into work. I hate being an hour into a shift. I hate like saying hi to people. I hate being perceived. I hate smiling. I hate it. I hate working. I've worked so many jobs. Every single job I get 2 months in, and I'm like, I fucking hate this job. And I don't know, maybe I just have poor work ethic. Like, maybe I just am lazy, and I just need to come to terms with the fact that I'm just lazy. But like, I see people that work so hard, and they're such good workers, and I just like, I don't understand. I've never, and that's like, I grew up like doing competitive gymnastics. I grew up straight A's in school. Like, that was like, you had to work in high school. Like, I've always worked. I moved by myself, supported myself. I've been working since I was fucking 15, right? I've been working. It's not like I don't work. It's not like I'm just like lazy and I do work. I just hate it. I hate it. I hate working. I know everyone hates working, but I hate working so much. And then like, I see like Reagan on her like 18th extension install of the fucking week. I'm like, what? Like, girl, like, please. And it's just jealousy. It's literally just jealousy. I see like,
So I have no idea who Reagan is, but one thing that I will say that I relate to is hating work. All right. Hating to go to a job, right? Hating to say, oh, I have to be here at this time and leave at this time. And I grew maturity wise. I can't even call that maturity. I grew into knowing that the work that I do is fueling something else. So I don't hate going to a job anymore. But I do believe that those that do hate going to a job, that might be a higher calling to do something outside of the job. That might be a higher calling to be ambitious outside of the job. Because bottom line is, this channel, we review people with terrible car loans, terrible homeowner regret, credit card debt, student loan debt. You know what I mean? Getting their car repoed, quitting their jobs, struggling to find a job. These things are real, man. This isn't flashy social media stuff. This is people voicing their opinions and the stuff that they're struggling with in the real world, because this is the real world. We need to work. We need to go to a job. But you don't need to do that for the rest of your life. And what people fail to realize is they think that money in this aspect can buy them happiness. It's kind of funny how people can, they'll say and look at somebody wealthy and say things like, well, they just think money can buy happiness, and it really can't. But they think a raise on a job will make them happy. You feel what I'm saying? Until they get a little stale and inflation kicks in and they recognize, man, I need more money. It's because we're trading our time for money in that world. It just is. I remember working at Subway when I was in high school, 2016, right? I remember working at Subway, and I was asking he wasn't even a manager. He was a senior in high school when I was a freshman. And he told me he had like $4,000 saved up. At that time in my life, I thought that was all the money in the world. I was like, bro, how in the world did you save $4,000? Right. Mind you, I was making $7.50 at that job. And he told me I just work a lot of overtime. And I hated the fact that I had to do that much work in order to earn $4,000. I just did. Later on in my life, I recognized that that's not the only way you can make money. You could start a business. You can start a side hustle. You can DoorDash. You can work the 9 to 5. You can work overtime. You can invest into stocks. You can buy Apple Watches, sell iPhones. Like, there's so many ways to make money that it's ridiculous. But when I didn't know better, I hated it. As simple as that. When I didn't know better, I hated it. Financial Frontier USA says she would hate foraging, farming, and surviving off the land. I retired at 32. Congratulations to you. Due to smart planning and action. Fail to have a plan, you plan to fail. 110%. And the regular viewers on our live streams and on our videos, we know we say this quote: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. 110%. And those that listen to people who retire early and have, or in certain positions in life that they want to be in, but they choose to hate on people like that, you're never going to learn, because you're not even willing to understand what people went through, right? Financial Frontier, I'm pretty sure you set money aside building up to that. I'm pretty sure you looked at, like you said, you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And guys, this is one of the reasons why I say, not to get too far off topic, dollar cost averaging. When you're getting your paychecks, what are you doing with your paycheck outside of just spending it and putting some away for savings? I tell us that Percentages are our best friends. Why? Because as you make more money, more percentage, more money goes into a specific account. More money goes into your investment account. More money goes into your savings account. More money goes into your expense/debt payoff account. But we need to be building all accounts, your fun account, right? So you can reward yourself a little bit, right? Your business account so you can have another stream of income. We need to be growing all accounts at the same time as we're making more money. A lot of people run into extra money or do a side hustle or DoorDash. Ask me how I know, and waste money and just blow it. Oh, I worked extra. Now we can go out and, you know what I'm saying? Go out to eat. Ask me how I know how people blow money when they touch a little bit of extra money. Ask me how I know. Like, this is real life, man. You can't try to get the same results as other people and skip the steps. There's lessons to be learned in the steps. 100%.
Lost my job over a month ago and my lease is up, so I'm returning my car back to Honda. This is a necessary sacrifice, and I knew that when I lost my job, I would have to find ways to reduce my expenses, because if there isn't any money coming in, there can't be that much money going out. My car cost me about $800 a month between insurance and my car payments. And then by the grace of God, my lease was up May 2nd. And as much as it pains me, because this car isn't just a convenience for me, to be honest, like, this car gave me the confidence to drive. Anyone who's an anxious driver or had driving anxiety knows that getting a car can actually change the game for you, because it kind of forces you literally into the driver's seat. You're not going to pay $50 for the Uber when your gas costs $50. Eventually, I started driving further and further. Like, over the summer, I drove to Blue Mountain. So just being able to gain that confidence was so important for me. However, I know that this is just a season. I'm thinking about getting a used car. I'm not sure. I'm going to miss Gladys nights. I'm going to miss the confidence that she gave me. Bye, Gladys girl.
So wait, did she say the car gave her confidence in some way?
Car can actually having anxiety. And then by the grace of God, my lease was up May 2nd. And as much as it pains me, because this car isn't just a convenience for me, to be honest, like, this car gave me the confidence to drive. Anyone who's an anxious driver or had driving anxiety knows that getting a car can actually change the game for you, because it kind of forces you literally.
Okay, I get you. I don't have driving anxiety, but what I will say is, obviously, when your pay decreases, it's important to decrease your expenses as well. A car is a liability, people. I understand that you want the car of your dreams. I got a friend right now. I'm not going to even reveal his name at all, just for privacy reasons. I thought my car note was high. I have a Tesla 2018 Model 3 long range. I bought it used literally probably a year ago. My first car purchase, right? And I didn't have the money saved up because I had just moved home from, going broke 2 years ago. Not having a 9 to 5, income fluctuating up and down. Didn't manage my finances when I was making $4,000 to $6,000 a week. I learned a valuable lesson. But anyways, I thought my car note was bad when I said I'm paying $600 a month. How about $1,500? $1,500 for a car note. Let that sink in, man. And people think that when they make less, they deserve more. Just because you're approved for credit, just because you can put it on a credit card, just because they say you're approved. We got to be wiser. So shout out to this creator, because when her income dropped, she decreased her expenses. Golden key right here. Golden key, golden nugget.
So I'm almost a month shy of being let go from my corporate job, and one of the revelations that I am having is the impact that corporate America has on your subconscious, your psyche, anxiety, all the things. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I literally hear teams, or I'll be sitting doing a random task, and I kind of jolt up oh my God, I need to be on Teams. Girl, there's no Teams to be on. And it's making me realize how much anxiety how much of a constant state of anxiety I was in working at that job, and I just didn't realize it because it had become so normal to me that now that I am removed from it, I'm almost having this battle with myself, where I realize that if I am to go back into that space, that it's just kind of what it is. That's how it is. I think And I don't know if it's just been my job experiences where I just feel like that's how it is and that's how it's always going to be. But how I feel in a corporate space, simply because I feel like I have a very entrepreneurial spirit, I don't think that any corporate space will serve me. Yes, it'll pay my bills, and that's servants is all the things enough. But at the same point in time, at what cost does that come to me and my mental and all the things? And is it worth it? And
So I thought about this. A lot of people in corporate offices, we sit in front of computers and whatnot. Y'all got a lot of free time, man. Not everybody, but a lot of y'all got a lot of free time, man. We got to start capitalizing on the time that we have. If you don't have a calendar, that's your first mistake. You can't even manage the time because you can't even see what you're doing with your time every single minute. I said that correct. Every single minute. Okay? Your job treats you in a good way, paying you from 9 to 5, hypothetically, right? They know what you're supposed to be doing every minute. That's why you get paid every minute. Yeah, you get paid per hour, but you're really getting paid per minute because you are so spending minutes make hours, right? So when people say things like, oh, the job is taking away from my entrepreneurial spirit, it really isn't. If you have an entrepreneurial spirit, you're going to have an entrepreneurial spirit. And that's how you draw out the real entrepreneurs, the people who do the work that nobody sees, the people who do the work and do the work that's not necessary, but also necessary because they got to pay their bills. But you know what I mean? I just don't, I'm not a big advocate of, if you are working a job, don't quit your job if your business, if your entrepreneurship isn't paying some of your bills or generating some type of income, right? A second thing that I want to hit before we go to the next clip, she mentioned that she got so mesmerized and basically hypnotized by the job, hearing Teams notifications. If those of you who don't know what that is, that's basically Microsoft Teams, a chat where you are talking amongst coworkers and she's hearing a notification go off every couple of minutes in her head. And that brought me back to remember when I was dating one of my girlfriends years ago, right? I had a text tone in my phone. So like every time that she texted me, I kind of knew that it was her, right? Bro, when we broke up and I was hearing those text tones everywhere else in public from other people's iPhones, I was traumatized. So I understand what she's saying. But at the same time, that can be any environment, man. Like, we remember certain songs when we were a certain age. So your brain jumps back to that. And if Teams was one of the things that was tied to your 9 to 5, I don't think that's as bad as she's making it seem. I mean, yeah, you use Teams at work, but you got an entrepreneurial spirit, right? That means you got to have grit, tenacity. That means you can't let your emotions take control of your actions. Because with a 9 to 5, you can allow your emotions, sometimes you can allow your emotions to take control of your actions because all you got to do is show up. And I'm not downgrading people who work a 9 to 5. I work a 9 to 5 right now. What's going on, Newman? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. My man just got off of work. I just finished working out. We both working. Let's go. So, yeah. So, at the end of the day, we got to recognize that going to work doesn't take away anything from you. It actually fuels you. At a certain point in time, though, obviously, if we're making more money in our business than our jobs, then yeah, it's taking something away. But most people who speak about this, I don't feel as though like, or they don't say it at least, right? They don't say that they're making more money in their business than their job, and that's why it's taking it away. It's just more about emotional things. And I'm like, well, you can be emotionally happy and broke as hell. I've been that before. I feel free. I'm broke as hell. Can't even buy 2-ply toilet paper. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going back to that whatsoever. I'm not. I learned my lesson, you know, and that's not to say anybody else can't do that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, everything doesn't work for everyone. But I think most people are built to have the 9 to 5 and have a side hustle until the side hustle overtakes the 9 to 5. Then you're going to have that work ethic built up over time. Shout out to Newman, said, I'm about to do my side job. Let's get it. Hey, man, you kind of remind me, and I'm not sure if you're like DoorDashing or Ubering or anything, but like that comment kind of reminded me when I was Ubering before I started doing the live show, when I was Ubering and DoorDashing and stuff, how I would listen to like podcasts as I'm driving. I need to be in that mode. You know what I mean? Need to know like what I'm doing is purposeful. What I'm doing is actually going to count towards the bigger picture, financial freedom, time freedom, you know? I still do that to this day. That's how I picked up this habit. Or that's how I picked up the habit of listening to audiobooks and podcasts still now to this day, you know? Shout out to Newman, man, doing a side job. We both doing our side job. Man, we working, man. See, this is why I love the internet. You can find your people. People around me, I love them. I love my coworkers. I love my friends. I love my family. I love strangers, man. I love people. But conversations like this you can't have with everybody because people say, "Oh, I just got off. Why would I want to work more?" I was talking about stocks before I even went on tonight's show with someone. And I'm like, let me show you what I've learned. Like, because you've got more money than me. Let me show you. Or just show you how the banks use your money to make more money. When you can use the same principles. I'm probably never going to invest in stocks. And I used to get frustrated off of the comments like that. You know what I mean? I used to get frustrated and be like, man, why don't they feel the same emotion I feel, the ambition that I feel? You know why? They're not your people, bro. And a lot of people don't want to listen or learn until you're in a desirable situation that they want to be in. And by that time, I'm not going to say it's too late, but by that time, it's going to take some money for them to pay attention. Meaning you're going to get paid off of them learning from you because your time is now too valuable to just be teaching one person. It's sad how it goes, for real. Newman said, yeah, brother, I fix electronics for retail stores as a side gig for extra cash. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. We got a lot more in common than I thought, bro. For sure. When I was in college, that was my side gig, man. I didn't have a car in college. My parents wouldn't allow me to have a car on campus. And I'm glad because I probably would have made somebody pregnant. You know what I mean? So I'm glad. But yeah, I used to fix iPhones for students. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. It's good money in that because people need their electronics, right? And it's cheaper to fix it most of the time than it is to buy a new one. 100%.
Getting laid off in the United States is almost like your job telling you to just go die. Because it's not about a little minor setback in your career path. It's not about just this loss of income that's just happened. You lose access to disability insurance, your medications, your health care. All of these things that are essential for human beings in the United States that should not be wrapped up in employment at all, ever. This is a system that leaves people incredibly vulnerable in the middle of layoffs, job seeking, job changes. Decoupling essential needs like healthcare from employment could actually provide much needed stability for people like their families, the individual themselves, when they are looking for work so that they can focus on really finding a fulfilling job and a fulfilling career instead of having to worry about how they're going to go to the doctor or take their child to the doctor or get their medication without this looming fear of losing critical benefits.
So this is a really good statement. And I think we watched this clip before, but I just want to ask a question. I'm not going to go in depth on this one, but basically she's explaining that people are too reliant or their jobs hold too much weight. Like if your job lays you off and you're not going to have health insurance and whatnot, right? How are you going to pay for that when that's something that everybody should have? There goes that word should again, right? So my question for you all is, do you think that people getting benefits from a job makes them too comfortable? Because I believe that it scares people to leave their job, not because of just money, but also because of their benefits that they can offer at a job, right? At a certain point in my life, I'm like, or I was like, man, these benefits at a job, they're great and everything, but this makes people not want to leave their job or branch out, right? And I used to think that was the truth, but the truth is, and she's talking about layoffs, but people who quit their jobs, which you're going to watch later on in another clip, but people who quit their jobs and they have healthcare by their jobs, at the end of the day, they're leaving healthcare behind unless they purchase their own plan, which is usually more expensive, which is cool if they're willing to pay that. But do you guys think that benefits hold people back from quitting their job, from actually pursuing a career? I don't think jobs are, I believe that people should be taken care of, in the healthcare system. But I also think that if there weren't benefits that came with the job, then more people would quit, which would mean less producers, more consumers. Like, I know a lot of people, government people say it all the time. They work a government job. They got government benefits. Why would they quit? Why would they leave? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the chat in the comment section. All right, so that's it for this clip. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Let's get it.